What's up, everybody? Welcome back. And of course, Manchester United are back in action again. This time it's in the Europa League against FC Porto away from home at the Estádio de Dragão. And it's not looking good, bruv, for Manchester United so far this season. Man United's last win was on the 17th of September against Barnsley, which was a 7-0 home win in the League Cup. But Man United are coming into this game with very poor form, losing their last Premier League game 3-0 against Spurs and then drawing the previous two against Twente and Crystal Palace as well. So if we have a look at FC Porto, last season under Conceição, they finished third with 72 points. In the Portuguese league, there are 18 teams and you play 34 games. In them 34 games, Porto won 22, they drew 6, they lost 6, they scored a total of 63 goals, had 27 goals against them and finished with a goal difference of 36. They finished 8 points behind Benfica, who were second with 80 points, and therefore Benfica and Sporting qualified for the Champions League, whereas Porto qualified for the Europa League by winning the Taça de Portugal, beating Sporting 2-1 in the final. The Taça de Portugal is basically the FA Cup of England, so they won the Taça de Portugal, beating Sporting 2-1 in the final. So last week in the league, they are coming away with a 4-0 home win against Arouca, but the midweek last week in the Europa League, they lost to Bodo Glimt 3-2 away from home. So Bodo Glimt aren't necessarily great. I think they're in the Norwegian league, and losing that game 3-2 away from home wasn't a good result for Porto. But this season, however, in the league, in the Portuguese league, they sit second with 18 points from 7 games. They've won 6 and lost 1, scored a total of 16 goals, conceded just 3, and have a goal difference, of course, of plus 13. Their only loss in the league has come from Sporting when they were beaten 2-0 away from home, and Sporting Lisbon in the Portuguese league sit top of the league and they have won 7 out of 7 of their games, and they're doing really well, Sporting Lisbon in the Portuguese league. I think they've scored about 25 goals and conceded only 3 or something, or 2. Sporting Lisbon are playing really well in the Portuguese league right now. So in terms of insights, if I have a look at these insights, FC Porto have won 2 of their 8 European meetings with Manchester United, drawing 3 and losing 3. With their most recent game against one another since a 2008-09 UEFA Champions League quarter-final clash, which the Red Devils won 1-0. I remember Ronaldo scored a screamer from about 40 yards out at the Estádio Dragão, which was a very well-known goal for Cristiano Ronaldo in his final season for Manchester United in his first spell at the club. Manchester United are unbeaten in their last 12 major European matches against Portuguese clubs, winning 9 and drawing 3, since losing 2-1 to Benfica in December 2005. So that was the last time Manchester United actually lost to a Portuguese club, all the way back in December 2005. FC Porto have won their last 3 major European home matches, all in last season's UEFA Champions League. They haven't won 4 in a row since March 2019, so they'll be looking to win tomorrow, of course, because they have no points at this moment in time, because they lost their first league stage match against Glimt, like I mentioned before. Manchester United's last 4 away European matches have seen 23 goals scored at 9, 4 and 14 against. Despite scoring 3 goals in each of their last 3 on the road, they haven't won any, drawing 1 and losing 2. In their 3-2 defeat to Bodo Glimt on Matchday 1, FC Porto attempted 28 shots, their most in a match in a major European competition since March 2019 against Roma in the UEFA Champions League, 31, and most in a Europa League game since December 2010 against CSK Sofia, which they had 28 shots. So Porto, they love taking shots, and we're going to have to be really wary of that. In terms of team news, defender Ivan Marcano is a long-term absentee for Victor Bruno's side, who is the manager. Victor Bruno took over in June 2024 after replacing Conceição. Victor Bruno was previously an assistant manager for FC Porto under Conceição from 2017 to June 2024, and then he was promoted to the managerial position after Conceição left. Ivan Marcano is a long-term absentee for Victor Bruno's side and will play no part on Thursday. However, midfield Fabio Vieira, on loan from Arsenal, has missed Porto's last 4 games through injury, but he could be involved against United tomorrow. So in terms of Porto's starting 11, if I have a look, you've got Costa and net, João Mario right back, Pedro and Perez at centre back, and then Mora at left back. Varela and Gonzalez playing as the defensive midfielders. Pepe, Sosa and Gelano as the front 3, and Omorodion playing as the number 9 striker. So under Victor Bruno, they set up in usually they set up in a 4-2-3-1 formation, and the coach, who this is his first managerial position. He continues the ideas of that were present in the previous manager, Conceição, which are give the players more freedom to show their individual qualities. And Victor Bruno, he's 41 years of age. He's learning on the job, as this is his first managerial position, like I mentioned previously, under assistant from 2017 to 2024 under Conceição, and he tries new things. He isn't afraid to make changes and isn't afraid to make mistakes. He said mistakes are a part of growth, and they in fact are. They also score a lot, concede less. A possession heavy style allows their creative players to shine, because they have the ball and they can dominate possession, and it allows their creative players to kind of shine on the pitch. And they have, and all around the pitch, from their defensive line to their attacking players, they have technical qualities everywhere. They're all really confident on the ball and in possession. And up top, their front 4, they've got fluid rotations, and tactically they are flexible. They've got the front 4 who roam free and rely on chemistry to create chances. Their front 4, Pepe, Sosa, Gelano, the left winger Brazilian, and Omorodion. They have fluid rotations and they roam free, and they're not kind of tied to being in a set position. So yeah, they have no set positions in attack, and they like to cause carnage in wide areas. They like to get balls into the box to Omorodion, who kind of is their number 9 kind of focal point striker playing for them. And their attacking players, their left winger, right winger, and the central attacking midfielder, they are solid dribblers of the ball. And they flood the final third with numbers as well. They like a third man run. They want to dominate possession and are confident from playing out from the back. And Varela, the defensive midfielder, in the number 6 position, he mops up and allows kind of the front 4 to progress and play and progress the ball forward and attack at free. So in terms of, to summarize, they have a possession heavy approach. They have lots of attacking rotations, and they are unpredictable to defend. They have a 5-man press as well. They like to press high. They have a high line as well, which allows them to quickly transition into attack, and they like playing out from the back as well. So their star man, it's either going to be Gelano or Omorodion, their striker, but I've gone for Gelano, the Brazilian left winger, their number 13, who plays on the left. He has 5 goals in 7 games in the league this season. He's very strong, cutting in from the left side and shooting with his right foot, and also crossing it in as well with his right foot. Last season, in 31 games, he scored 9 goals and had 7 assists in the league. So from 31 games, he's provided 16 goals or assists, which is a pretty good return. You know, every 2 games you're scoring or you're providing assist. That's a very good return in my opinion. And also, of course, a shout out goes to Omorodion as well. He's a dangerous striker as well, very dangerous in the box. Their goal scorer. I'm not sure how many goals he's scored this season, but it's not more than their left winger, Gelano. Omorodion. Let's have a look. Samu Omorodion is a Spanish forward. How many goals has he scored? Let's have a look. Total, he scored 4 goals in 4 appearances, it says here, for Porto, having arrived from Atletico Madrid, but he didn't play for Atletico Madrid. He went out on loan to Alaves, and currently he has scored 4 goals in 4 games in the league for Porto as well. So they're the two that you want to be looking out for. The Porto are a decent side. They are very good. I think they're a little bit unlucky not to be in the Champions League. If they had a slightly better season, they would have qualified by finishing second, and they would have been in the Champions League. So going away from home, especially to a team in Portugal, is going to be very difficult for Manchester United. And as for Manchester United, Manchester United have lost 2 consecutive Premier League games at Old Trafford without scoring, and the last time that happened, the manager was sacked, and that was Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. If you remember, I think it was 5-0 against Manchester City and 2-0. I forgot what it was actually. It was I think it was Liverpool and Man City that he played up against, and he lost both games, and then he was sacked with that 4-0 loss, 4-1 loss at Watford. So the last time Man United lost 2 consecutive Premier League games at Old Trafford without scoring, the manager was sacked, and that was Ole. And Man United's last win came against Barnsley, like I mentioned, on the 17th of September, winning that game 3-0. But Man United are coming away recently with a 3-0 loss. And if we go over that game, the defending for all the goals was absolutely shocking. The whole team was at fault for all the goals. I've seen a lot of people kind of single out particular players, saying that this goal was this particular player's fault. But literally all the goals that United scored, all of the players were at fault. If football is a team game, a goal isn't kind of a particular player's fault. When there's 11 players on the pitch, there's 11 players on the pitch which can possibly stop a goal. That's 11 chances for you to kind of put in a tackle or make a clearance or whatever. And if we go over the goals, we'll quickly go over the goals as well. So for the first goal, from the 3rd minute onwards, you could just tell that United weren't up for it. From Garnacho running away from the ball after Rashford passes it to him. Whether Rashford passes him the ball or whether it's a Rashford heavy touch, it doesn't really matter. Garnacho runs away from the ball, and if Garnacho kind of stands his ground and goes towards the ball and picks up that pass or that heavy touch from Rashford, then Man United still have possession and are going to kind of counter, because Tottenham are playing with a high line, and Man United could outnumber them if Garnacho or Rashford, their communication is a little bit better, and they hold on to the ball in that position. But unfortunately, Garnacho runs away from the ball after Rashford passes it to him, and then the whole Man United team allow a centre-back to run 70 yards unchallenged. Van der Ven runs past 6 Manchester United players. He runs past Garnacho, Rashford, Bruno, Ugarte, De Ligt and Mazraoui. That's 6 United players which he runs past, and that's 6 United players that can possibly put in a challenge or bring him down, take a yellow. It's only 3 minutes into the game. How are you allowing a centre-back to run through your whole team? Similarly, what we saw against FC Twente midweek last week, which is just not on. It's abysmal defending. And then finally, Dalot lets Brennan Johnson run free at the back post, and it's shocking defending, absolutely criminal. Dalot does put his hand up to indicate that was his man and that is his mistake, but it's not just Dalot's mistake. Dalot lets Johnson run free. However, the whole team is at fault for absolutely kind of shocking defending by letting a centre-back run through the whole pitch 70 yards at Old Trafford 3 minutes into the game. It's just absolutely abysmal. Second goal obviously comes in the second half when Bruno has been sent off, but before Bruno was sent off, United were absolutely abysmal in the first half anyway, and Spurs should have been up like 4-0 at half time. Casemiro and Ugarte are out of position for the second goal. They lose their duels, unfortunately. Martinez then dives in and he completely misses the ball. De Ligt is left in a 2v1 and Johnson squares it. Brennan Johnson, it ricochets off De Ligt, but it falls to Kulusevski, who scores. Third goal, corner kick. Saw It's a free header. He flicks it on. No one's marking him, and then no one picks up Solanke, who pokes home from Sar's header from close range, and it's just absolutely abysmal defending. You can't. It's absolutely inexcusable. You can't defend like that in the Premier League. You can't defend like that in any division. You can't defend like that in Sunday League. It's just awful. And so yeah, you defend as a team. You defend as a team, you attack as a team, and the whole team is fault for all the goals. Basically, we can pick out individuals and say you can't say a one singular goal is one individual player's mistake, and that's just not right. So Kulusevski and Maddison were absolutely on fire in the first half, and Spurs had a expected goals of 4.67 in one stat. That's the most they've had in a Premier League match on record, and Spurs' hard pressing led to them winning possession 7 times in the final third, and Man United just couldn't cope with the pressure. Kulusevski created 9 chances, which is more than any other visiting player at Old Trafford in Premier League history, so he makes history with that. Maddison pulling wide to get on the ball with every move, and just how much space he had on the ball it's undefendable, really. You can't excuse it. Man United v Spurs, to summarise Man United's kind of shape and play: no visible defensive shape, big gaps between every player, looking like 11 individuals rather than a team, no work ethic, no effort, no intensity, no leaders on the pitch, player quality pathetic, body language pathetic, no one taking responsibility, horrendous pressing shape, and Mainu and Ugarte, feel sorry for them. They were left to die on their own in a 3v2, completely overloaded in midfield, and Spurs easily played past the press, allowing Bentancur time on the ball. And basically everyone for Spurs was allowed time on the ball because Man United's press was so incohesive and so lackluster. And in another stat, I saw that Spurs finished with an XG of 5.33, and that was Spurs. But obviously you need to improve your defensive shape. Out of that, I would suggest Man United not pressing high, of course, for this game against Porto. Sorry, let me just fix this thing. So in terms of my starting 11 for Manchester United, this is it. So this is my starting 11 for United. Of course, it's the same back 5 that picks itself. You've got Onana in net, Mazraoui, De Ligt, Martinez and Dalot at the back. And I've got Ugarte in the central defensive midfield position. Then I've got Ahmad, Eriksson, Casemiro and Rashford in the midfield. 4. Then I've got Xerxes up front. I've gone for a 4-1-4-1 formation because I do think we need to change it up. I don't think the 4-4-2 pressing shape is working for Manchester United. They really need to change it up, and they need to stop pressing high. You're probably looking at that midfield and you're looking at Casemiro, who's 32, Eriksson's 32, doesn't necessarily have the legs, but I have got Ugarte in there, who is 23 years old, and he can cover ground, hopefully. I've also got 3 midfielders in there. I don't want to be playing with a number 10 necessarily against Porto away from home. That's who I've gone with. I bought in Ahmad as well, who I feel like was unlucky not to start against Liverpool and Spurs. I want Ahmad and Eriksson to start because they're our most technical players and they want to play football. Ahmad and Eriksson suit a team that controls possession, and Man United need to be better on the ball. When we've played our best football this season when they've started. And we're unbeaten when they start together as well. With Ahmad and Eriksson, we drew to Palace, we drew to Twente, which we should have beaten. We should have won both those games easily, and then we beat Southampton as well. I'm dropping Bruno and shifting to a 4-1-4-1 mid block. Flood the midfield. Xerxes can drop in there as well to make a 5. So you've got Ugarte, Casemiro, Eriksson and Xerxes kind of making a 4 in the middle there, like a diamond. You could do that as well. In my opinion, if Erik ten Hag wants to save his job, the tactics have to change and you have to stop high pressing. So how do you beat Porto or any other team? Obviously, you need to have energy, desire and confidence that was lacking against Spurs. Urgency on the ball, confidence in and out of possession, working off the ball especially. defensively sound when off the ball, pressing as a team if you decide to press. Obviously, you can't be pressing the goalkeeper. I wouldn't press the goalkeeper and the centre backs. Obviously, just sit in a mid block, and when the ball goes out to the wingers or the right back or left back, then you move as a team across. You just shift across, and you make the right back or the left back play back to the centre back, and then you just go back into your shape again. So be confident. I think rest defense, I think it's called. Play rest defense. Don't high press. If you're gonna press, be brave when you press. When one goes, all of you go. Otherwise, just sit in a block, sit in a mid block, shut down the centre of the pitch, and be compact defensively. Don't play Bruno on the wing or at all, in my opinion. I think he deserves to be dropped. Don't press high because we can't. And lastly, want to say that football is played in two phases. One on the ball and one off the ball. Personally, I would prefer to be better on the ball, because when you have the ball, you have to score to win, and when you have the ball, the opposition can't score either. So I would prefer if Man United were better with the ball and Man United kind of dominated possession and stuff. But I don't believe Man United necessarily can be coached into Ten Hag to dominating games via possession. I don't think Ten Hag is the right man to deliver Manchester United a Premier League title or Champions League titles. So star man for Manchester United, I think it is going to be Christian Eriksen. I think he's had a very underrated season so far. I think he has been Manchester United's most consistent player this season. And so that's my team to face Porto away from home. So hopefully we do get the win and we do bounce back from disappointing defeats. From a disappointing defeat to Spurs and disappointing draws to Twente and Palace. But in terms of my score prediction, do I think we're going to win? Personally, I don't think Erik ten Hag can turn this around. I think that we are going to lose this game. I did predict us to lose to Spurs, and we did lose. And I did predict us to win against Palace and Twente, and we drew both those games. So in terms of my predictions, I haven't been great necessarily. But I am predicting us to lose this game. I think we're going to lose 2-1 to Gelano. Gelano and Omorodion are going to score. We're going to lose 2-0. And I think we are very overrated as a team and as a squad. I do think that we're just not good enough, really. I don't think necessarily we have the attacking quality to be kind of getting into the top 6 positions in the Premier League, or even be challenging for the Europa League this season. I do believe that there are better teams in the Europa League than Man United this season. Attacking wise, I don't see us scoring goals, unfortunately, unless Rashford, Bruno, Højlund, these players can kind of just magically start scoring like 20, 25 goals, 20, 25 Premier League goals. I just don't see it happening. So I am going for a 2-0 loss, and Gelano and Omorodion are going to score for Porto, and Man United are going to be like 10th in December in the Premier League. And in terms of the Europa League, I do think it's easier for you to get through to the knockout stages of the Europa League, because the top 24 sides, I think, go through. So it is harder for you to kind of be eliminated in the league phase than it is for you to kind of go through. So but in terms of other news, Aston Villa have just beaten Bayern Munich 1-0. Unai Emery is doing an amazing job at Villa, and he got appointed around the same time as Erik ten Hag. I think he got appointed 3 months after Ten Hag, or 3 months before. Villa, they finished 4th last season in the Premier League, and Man United finished 8th. And I don't care about the injuries. Villa are finishing 4th under Emery, and United are finishing 8th under Erik ten Hag. It's just not good enough. We are dead, man. We are not good. I think we're very overrated. I think our fans as well, Man United fans, are living on some next level cloud 9, thinking that we're going to kind of challenge for top 4. We're not getting top 4. We're not finishing in any European European places, and I don't think we're going to win any silverware this season either. But I could be wrong. But yeah, I think it's going to be 2-0 tomorrow to Porto. Strap yourselves in, lads. It is going to be a long season. Anyway, if you enjoyed this video, please leave a like, comment and subscribe and tell me your thoughts below, and I'll see you in the next one.